Let's toss it over to a returning veteran here. Bud Dupree has made it known, more than once that he's open to coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if the opportunity presents itself, he would like to maybe finish his career in Pittsburgh. Quote, for sure. If the opportunity came up, definitely. It's a great organization, and Tomlin, he is who he is. The standard is the standard. For sure, I'd go back. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you considering a Bud Dupree return? Are you looking at him and saying, hey, this is the next Marcus Golden? And do you think on the other side of that, Bud Dupree would be open with being probably the fourth outside linebacker? Because at this point, I would imagine Nick Herbig is their number 3.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to be. This is a guy who's kind of on the back end of his career. Still pretty productive, though. But he only made like $3 million last year. I can't imagine his price would rise in free agency this year, especially as we get super late. I'm very open to this. This is a Bud Dupree reunion. I think would work out pretty well for both sides. I'm all in on it. It would be cheap. It'd be good production. It'd be experience, and it'd be a really nice veteran to have as a backup. Like, this is just Marcus Golden, but better in a lot of senses. Like, it's pretty close to the same age. I can't imagine the price tag would be that much more. It's maybe a difference of $1 or $2 million more to get a guy who's better at this position. So I'm all in on bringing back Bud Dupree. I think he'd be really good here, and I feel like it'd be a slam dunk signing for the Steelers. Not the splashiest move they've made this offseason, but a really, really solid one.
Yeah, I think at this point in free agency, if you could grab a guy who had 6.5 sacks last season, like, why not? Why not bring back? I think Bud Dupree at one point had a lot of potential in the NFL, and he kind of rushed back from his ACL injury, and that kind of set him back a little bit. But I think at this point, like, he is a really good backup piece to have. I know TJ loves this guy. I know Cam loves this guy. I know Minka loves this guy. I know Tomlin loves this guy. Like, Dupree was very much so respected and enjoyed in that locker room. I know he helped Alex Highsmith a ton when he came in there. I don't know. I look at Bud Dupree and a signing there, and I think it's more of his side. Here's what I want to talk about next. Size matters. We all know it, and it's important to remember it in times of need. I recently went to a small law firm in hopes of getting the compensation I felt I deserved. I didn't, and to this day, I still think about the money that I may have missed out on. I filled out mounds of paperwork, then waited around for what felt like forever, got phone call after phone call telling me what I did not do right in the process, and it was expensive. All to get underwhelming compensation and almost zero satisfaction. Fortunately, if you ever get seriously injured and want to file a claim, you don't have to go through the same hassle I did. Instead, you can make it way easier by finding out if you have a claim in just a few clicks on your phone and working with America's biggest injury law firm with the promise of being for the people. Here comes Morgan & Morgan, today's sponsor. Morgan & Morgan has over 1,000 attorneys working in all 50 states fighting to get their clients the money they deserve. In recent months, they've achieved verdicts for their clients, including one that is worth $26 million. That is 40 times the highest insurance offer. And they're absolutely free unless you win. I got lowballed. Don't make the same mistake I did. Fighting big companies takes a big firm. And with America's biggest injury law firm, you're ready to take on insurance companies of any size. Don't overthink it. You can start your claim in just a few clicks by following the link in our description or by going to www.forthepeople.com/allsteelers. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you have a case. And if you have, it might be worth millions. Is Bud Dupree willing to come back on a very limited role for the Pittsburgh Steelers because, they want to see what they could get out of Nick Herbig. And I imagine they're going to get a lot out of Nick Herbig. Do you think there's a possibility like they take reps away? Do you think it's smart to take reps away? To say, hey, look, we got 4 guys. Why not just take TJ off the field every once in a while and Alex Highsmith off the field every once in a while for maybe larger chunks of time than we're used to?
Probably not. I mean, I guess like more so for TJ probably than Alex, just because of the injury history. Like TJ's real tough and he's played through a bunch of stuff, but I mean, if you can avoid like the bumps and bruises that kind of add up over the course of time.
Yep.
That could be useful. But I don't know if you're. I don't know that wouldn't be why I'm signing. Bud Dupree. Like he's a little bit more insurance, I guess, than anything else. Like I don't know. The defense is just not at its best with TJ on the field, and they're going to lean on the defense in a big way again. So, I think you hope that, I don't know, this offense gives you a little bit more breathing room to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, like the Steelers are in generally a more desperate / urgent spot. And I think to that end, like you can't be looking for ways to take snaps away from your best players.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think the best case scenario is the offense is so good that you don't got to worry about your defense being like this elite can't allow touchdowns defense like it has to be or has had to be the last couple of years. And that allows you to kind of utilize 4 outside linebackers, but I think ideally, or like the realistic situation is Bud Dupree's getting 6 snaps a game, and you're like, okay, are you coming to Pittsburgh?
6 damn good snaps, but
yeah, those would be good snaps. But if you're Bud Dupree, you coming to Pittsburgh, to get 6 snaps a game in the last couple of years, especially coming off a 6.5 sack season, like I don't know, a season where you started all 16 games, like I don't know. I think if the Steelers wanted to make that happen, that would be awesome. And I think the fans should be pumped about that. I don't know how realistic it is at this point in time. But the longer we get into this, the deeper free agency goes. You go past the draft and teams are just not looking at outside linebackers. I could see the Steelers being a name that, hey, come back here. It's better than not playing football in 2024. So you might as well make it happen at 32 years old. I don't know. We'll see what happens.